We are live. Okay, let me get
What's up, everyone?
Oh,
shit.
sorry.
My hat.
What's up, everybody? We're
There's no one
just
gonna
kind of
answer
getting
you.
settled in right now to the podcast.
I thought you were waiting for people to answer. I was like, Morgan, nobody's gonna answer. It's just us, dude.
If you're listening on the podcast, oops, hold on.
Man, I thought you turned all that down.
I didn't know.
Man,
anyway, if you're
there's
listening on the podcast, we are live on YouTube right now. So this is a pre-recording as usual, but we are going to have questions we'll be reading off hopefully from people that are watching. And we're about to get this started. I'm just going to check our video. It looks good. And it sounds like it could be heard because I heard it on here.
Yeah, for sure. It sounded pretty loud.
Yeah, so that's good. Okay. Well.
All right.
Hey, we're on time.
Okay, Google.
I can't connect to the Wi-Fi network.
Good, you don't need to.
Check the connection
okay, Google.
in the Google Home app. I can't connect to the Wi-Fi network.
Okay, Google.
Check the connection settings in the
Google
Home app. I can't connect to the Wi-Fi network.
No, just let her talk.
So is she just gonna like stop talking eventually, or is she just gonna keep saying the same thing?
No, that's it. It happens sometimes when I'm in my classes too.
So, welcome everyone. We're gonna have a toast to this fucking glorious day.
It has been a glorious day.
Cheers to you guys. It's been a glorious 2020, to be honest with you.
Yes.
So, anyways, this podcast, man, we have been so busy at the beginning of 2020. And this podcast, actually, I'm going to dedicate it to Jeremiah Hebner. He's the reason, honestly, we're doing this one right now.
Yeah.
He actually is a person that contacted us and said, you know, he started watching or listening to our podcast. And I don't remember what he said. Morgan, what did he say?
So he was in a totally different career, and he said that after he had listened to one of our podcasts, we talked about taking chances and, you know, doing what you love, and, you know, you're not getting any younger. Just, you know, just doing it, going out and having the balls to do it. And
so just listening to us.
Yeah, he did it, and he went out and got his welding certificate, I believe. Now I believe is working for a welding company, is
making
so
more money,
much happier. He has told us multiple times, just thank you guys so much. And recently my sister even, she has recently gone into the tiny life in an RV. Yeah, and she's finally she's like, man, I'm so glad you guys did this first. You know, it's scary, and
yes,
you know, but it's exciting, and that's the one thing they both have said. It's exciting, and I think there's actually a lot more people that have listened to us. Unfortunately, we don't always get to hear the good from everybody, but I think that it's life-changing. Even if it's just one person, if it's two people, it doesn't matter.
I've been thinking about it ever since you told me that he said that. I think about it once a day, and so it honestly just motivated me to want to do better and want to do more.
Absolutely.
But so anyways, in the beginning of 2020, we got through with the lot season, and yeah, by the way, I shaved my beard.
Oh yeah, oh my god. By the way. Look at the camera so everybody can see your beautiful baby face.
Yeah, I don't know how many people haven't seen me without a beard in a while.
Dude, not many. This is a rarity.
This feels so weird. I always try to go grab my mustache. I can't.
You're gonna see him grabbing his face throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, I do it all the time now, just grabbing my chin.
That's cool.
But anyways, so I mean, if you've been listening to this podcast, you know what we've been building on, what we've been doing, what we've been reading, how we've been just studying, learning, educating, working on financial intelligence. Last year we did some reselling, we did some antiquing,
picking.
Man, we're still selling some of this stuff, and
I still want to pick, but it's not the market right now.
Yeah, you don't want to get coronavirus. It's what you'll catch.
I feel like that's the importance of having multiple revenue streams instead of just one job, and that is something we learned, you know, through the 2008 crash. We learned it through whenever I lost my job, and really just our whole journey. Hey, if you haven't met us yet.
Yeah, hi, if you haven't met us.
Hey guys, that's kind of what we're sharing.
Kind of loud
here.
and aggressive people, so.
And we are really excited today, so if it comes off really loud in the podcast anywhere, I'm really sorry, but we're kind of full of energy. We had a lot of really great wins, and it feels like everything's kind of finally here. Everything we've...
You know when you plan for something?
Positioned, yeah.
And maybe it's like, you know, a couple years, you've been planning something, and then all of a sudden...
Yes.
That rocket you've been building starts taking off. That's where we're at now. And to be honest with you, if you have been listening, you'll know this whole thing started in 2008. Man, when I saw that market crash back then, I just got out of the military. had no financial intelligence. Didn't have intelligence. Period. I think I was 22 years old. I mean, hell, I barely knew how to talk to people. So yeah, it's just the way it is. When you're 20 something years old. And man, I was freaking out about that market crash. Became a total prepper. And then I started realizing, like, why don't I just learn what's actually going on? And because the thing I was afraid of is I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't understand what any of these, vocabulary words were that the Fed was using. I think it was Bernanke at the time. That was the Fed chairman.
Quantitative easing was like the first big word.
It just sounded like free money being given away, and we were bailing out the banks for $800 billion.
Yes.
And people were in, the streets in New York City, freaking out about the 1%. And
people jumping out of buildings.
So that was the beginning of this whole journey of financial intelligence and wanting to learn more about stocks and investing. And I didn't know what a bond was. I didn't know what an options contract was. I had no clue there was such a thing as options contracts. Long story short, man, if you've been paying attention, if not, go back and listen to our stuff. Bam, we are here today. You know what it took for us to get here. None of this was given to us. None of this was easy. We literally sold both of our homes and took some of that money and threw it into this bus.
Most of this money and threw it into the bus.
And we decided to live in a bus. And people were like, oh, they're poor. They can't afford anything. And that's fine. And then other people were just like, oh, that's so awesome. Some people are like, you're fucking weird. Some people are like, you're hippies.
Some people are like, you're ruining your children's lives.
Yeah, we were told that.
We've heard it all. I've been called Chicken Little. I've been made fun of. Like, I've heard it all. I get it. We know. We've been there. It sucks. But
I don't know where I was at. You just keep interrupting.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, but all of this was coming together. You said we just sold 2 houses.
Yeah, I don't know. I was on something.
Shit, sorry.
It's gone now.
I lost it.
Anyways, go ahead.
But yeah, anyway, so one of the things that we wanted to cover, some of the things that this video and this podcast is even about, is a lot of people have been hitting us up because Ryan has had some exponential gains in the market.
Exponential growth for sure.
It's been amazing. And like he said, this all started back in 2008. And if you've been following us, like he said, nothing was handed to us. Nothing was
Today
easy.
Didn't start 2008. Just my whole adventure. And so what I'm telling you guys, if you're watching this because you think you're going to get an easy answer out of this, there is no get rich quick scheme. There's no, throw your money into this and you're going to make money. We'll get more into that later. But guys, this whole thing, what I'm into today, started... man, it was like the 3rd week of the year. So it was 3rd week of January. And I just happened to see something about coronavirus or COVID-19 in Wuhan. And so I just started, we were trading. And there was something about it that grabbed a hold of my attention and wouldn't let me look away. So now to kind of tell a Quentin Tarantino story, kind of going back before, all last year again, if you've been listening, I told you, I've been honest, man, I lost $14,000 paying for this education that I'm in right now. It didn't come easy again. There was nothing free. There was nothing, someone giving me these quick answers. Everything was me reading books. Everything was about me finding Ricky Gutierrez and learning how to just do trend lines. What's a support line? What's a resistance line? What do these things even mean? How do you even find them? And yeah, lost $14,000 pretending to be a trader, thinking I was Gordon Gekko. And so I threw in 9,000. I increased it up to 14,000. Probably was the worst thing I could have ever done because I thought I knew what I was doing. And then very, very quickly started taking losses. And out of that $14,000 that we had, I had about $700 in the beginning of this year. And I was like, I knew everything that I was messing up on, but I was being lazy. I was not, doing my trend lines. I wasn't doing the research. I wasn't going out in the market and trying to, discover indicators. I wasn't going out and making these different connections between these puzzle pieces. It was just, oh, you know what? Let me look at the technicals. That's all I know how to do. And let me go ahead and do that. Well, now we're putting it all together this year, people. And so, beginning of the year, bam, $700. January 1st, 2020, here I am on my Snapchat group, just screaming at the top of my lungs, 2020 is going to be my year. And I just kept telling myself that, no matter what you say, you're lying because it's the future. You honestly don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So you might as well make it a great story. You might fuck around and believe it. So there I go, starting with my $700, just beaten, battered, bruised, just can't figure out, just how to make a buck anymore when I used to make it. I don't understand. So I slowly I just make a deal for myself and I say, hey man, just you got to make $500 a week. That's it. You got $700, go. Make $500. Stop worrying about making thousands of dollars.
Right.
As soon as I stopped doing that, all the bullshit went out of my head, and I just started going back to technicals. I just started going back to fundamentals. What is this company? You know, what are their financial statements look like? What do the technicals look like? Is this, you know, can I find a trend inside of one of these things? Now going back to that third week of January, I catch on to the coronavirus. Well, I think it was, so I learned about it the third week of January. I think it was the second week or the first week of February. I just started seeing this thing. Whenever it started spreading out to South Korea and Italy, Iraq, and you just started seeing it because it was contained in China. But now all of a sudden you're seeing this go around the world. And the problem is, as Americans, if it's not happening here, we don't give a shit about it.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I had to go out and I started reading these Italian newspapers. I started reading I actually started contacting just old people that used to live in Italy. And hey, you know, tell me about this. What is the local news there? You know, what are the news stations I need to be watching? And I was just trying to find my edge. Anybody who watches that show Billions, now I understand what they were talking about, what those guys are doing in that office.
Yeah.
They were doing exactly what I was finally doing. I was finally working this like a trader, going outside of my bubble, outside of my comfort zone, and trying to find the latest, greatest piece of news or slice of news on what's really going on. Well, when you started hearing in China that they had a bunch of issues with these numbers are, you know, incorrect, they're lying about their numbers. There was a lot of conspiracy theories that were brought up too, so you had to feed, you know, weed your way through the noise as well. But when it finally came to me and it hit it, you know, I hit myself, or it hit me in about the second week of February, I just said, you know what, this is happening. Whether people realize it or not, they're going to sit there and continue screaming, the flu is worse. I already saw this tidal wave coming. Every time somebody got this, it was a freaking tsunami to their economy. It was a freaking tsunami to the global trade.
Yeah.
It was a tsunami, just period. It was just awful, awful. And this is going to get worse before it gets better. It's not the zombie apocalypse, people. Everyone eventually is going to have to get this thing.
Yep.
Don't worry about it. Don't freak out. You're going to get it. And again, it's only a 3.4% mortality rate, okay?
Right.
But it is real. It is very real. And your best bet is to stay away from people.
Yeah.
So I make a speculative trade in NVIDIA. NVIDIA is a microprocessing company, and it was at $315 whenever this was. So if you want to go back and look at your charts, that's when I made that trade, by the way. I put $300, looked at it, and I saw I can make anywhere from $15,000 to $40,000 on this with just $300. So I go in, make my trade. I picked up these contracts. I have them until May 15th. And I got them, 11 cents a share, 11 cents a contract. So I go tell Morgan, hey man, I put $300 in this. If this coronavirus does come, we can make a lot of money on it.
Or we just lost $300.
The reason why I made that, or I lose $300. Risk versus reward, the reward's there.
Okay.
So,
and the other
and you
thing
keep
too,
talking in front of me, and
for all the new people, NVIDIA is the ticker. It's NVDA is the actual ticker, and you can go to TradingView and get free charts if you want to follow along with what he's saying and chart it. To look at the prices at where he's buying these things. When he says 11 cents a share, he didn't mean a stock. He means an option contract, and you get 100 of those in one purchase, right? It's like you buying 100 shares of the stock. Right.
So if you listen to this podcast, we always talk about using other people's money. This is a way to leverage other people's money. Again, I got $700. So at this point, when I actually made that, I'd already been making that $500 a week, and so that was the first soldier out there, okay? All my money, they're soldiers, okay? I'm the general of these soldiers, and I want these guys every single day to go out, bring me back new POWs. I'm going to train these POWs up, and they're going to go out and find me more prisoners, and I just keep doing this. So then, whenever Italy, it's just, I think their numbers were, I think, only at 30, but they were talking about how bad it was getting, even at 30. I decided, you know what? This NVIDIA actually had kicked up like 20 cents to 20 cents. So, hey, I'm making some money now.
That's right.
Way to go. And but then I just started seeing more indicators, reading more reports. And people were saying, oh, the economy was good. It was ready to just keep going this year. No, it wasn't. If it wasn't coronavirus, it probably was going to be something else. Obviously, nothing's ever certain. But Was it 2 years ago? There was an article saying there's a 65% chance of a recession this year. And then last year, that report came back out again, and it was ringing true, still 65%. So, guys, if it wasn't coronavirus, it's going to be something else. So then, making a little bit of money. I'm making my $500 a week. Feeling great about myself. I'm finally listening to myself. I'm finally doing my technicals, doing my research, doing what a trader should. And I start seeing just around the world, this is getting a lot worse. And then I decide, you know what, let me throw in a couple more trades. Well, I've been hearing a lot of... I heard a lot of people last year, they had talked about, you know, if you're riding a trend, you can just do kind of like a long position in these options contracts. And then you just kind of follow Warren Buffett's rule. Don't worry about the ups and downs in this. Ride them, because if you know where it's going at the end, you're good to go. So every time I would find a stock that I wanted to invest into, I would always get on TradingView. I would look at the technicals of it, which really doesn't matter because I needed it to go down. Everything was going up at that time. So I was the one pessimist in the room saying, hey man, this is going to come down. This is going to be an issue when coronavirus gets to us. So I started finding, what are the limits at 5? What if this stock or index lost 5%? What if it lost 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%? And so I had all these lines. Well, I went real crazy and was like, you know what, let's just go way out of the money and let's go ahead and buy these contracts that are literally pennies on the dollar right now. So just to kind of give you guys an example of what I'm talking about, when I originally paid for all these things, they were so cheap. My Alibaba contract, I paid 53 cents for. My contract now is worth $7.50. Okay, what that really means is 750. And then again, however many contracts you have, you multiply it. Long story short, I've made a 1,300% gain on that one. My position in Walmart, I've made 2,000%. I paid 32 cents. This thing is $6. I like to call my McFortunes with McDonald's. I got a 36% gain on that. Bought it at 58 cents. Nike, I bought this thing at 50 cents. This thing's worth $10 now. Made 1,900% on that. My biggest one though was that first one, Nvidia. I told Morgan, remember, it can go $15,000 to $40,000 is what I'm looking at. I've made 7,000% on that. I've only thrown in $300, and I paid 11 cents for each one of these contracts, and now each one of these contracts are worth $7.85. I've made $15,480 on that one contract. So here was the thing. I've had people tell me, oh, you're getting lucky right now. They're absolutely right. I have a lot of luck on my side. And here, we know luck stands for laboring under correct knowledge. Last year, I was being an idiot, doing a lot of silly things. I got caught up in the whole act of trading just because I could click the buttons the right way and, ooh, it would do this and, you know, the screen would do exactly what I needed it to do. Way to go. But I'm still losing my ass. Where this year, it's been since February that I've actually done a weekly trade. Everything now has been week. So now what I'm literally doing every day is just sitting here, holding my basket out, collecting cash. And every time someone's, oh, it's that V shape, it's going to U shape. If you understand what is going on, if you have been awake, if you are, just aware of the situation that is going on, that we were even getting to, we were in an 11-year bull run or getting close to the 11-year bull run. It doesn't have to go down. Here we are. Now it is going down. So, I don't know. Yeah. Kind of forgot where I was going to go with that, so...
Oh. Well, no, I was just going to say was, and just so you guys know, you don't, like he said, he didn't have like all this money to just start throwing into these contracts.
$700.
When I started, like what I had, Ryan, I only had like $300, okay? And actually 200 of that, I had actually, it was what little scraps I had left.
You had $180 when you started that, by the way.
I had $180, yeah.
What is it today?
It is almost $5,000.
And how many trades have you done since I've entered those trades?
None. We just bought the 3.
Guys, if you think you have to consistently make trade after trade after trade after trade, you're over trading, and that's what I did all last year. Yeah. And you know what I need to put out for you guys? There's a clear indication when you look at my chart. It's, oh, hey, this is where he put money in. Here's him making some gains, and there's him educating himself right now. And then there's just a long, not a whole lot's going on, up and down, up and down. And then towards the end of that, you start seeing this, have some nice gradual growth. And, oh, hey, this is when I got my shit together. Now, it's straight up. So, and it's not, again, because I got lucky. There's no luck to do with this. Man, I had somebody hit me up today and tell me, hey, I got this guy telling me all these things, and he does stock markets and, blah, 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 blah. And he just keeps telling me about his raw data, something to do with raw data. I don't know what the fuck raw data is, guys. I really don't. To me, it sounds like horse shit. I think he's telling you, he's pulling your leg, one thing. Maybe he wants your money, so you will, give him the money so he can invest it for you right now. But I don't know what the hell raw data is. So if anybody's telling you something about raw data, instead of reports, instead of technicals, instead of research, instead of risk management, instead of any of these other keywords, vocabulary words, run as far as you can. Secondly, nobody should be fucking with your money. That's your money.
Yeah.
You deal with your money. You're the one that needs the financial intelligence.
Yeah.
You're not going to sit there and go work your 9-to-5 job and think, oh, look, I'm going to retire rich. Look at these boomers now, guys. I hate to say this, but they are not financially intelligent. They don't understand what their money's doing. They don't understand why they're even losing money right now. They don't understand how far it is going to go down, because everybody keeps telling them, buy the dip, buy the dip. Keep pushing more of your money. The more money you push into this thing, the more money you're giving me, by the way.
Yeah.
We are not at the bottom yet. We are the farthest thing from the bottom. This is going to get worse before it gets better. It is not the end of the world. We're going to come back, and we might have a 20-year bull run this next time. So the point of this is, I've also had people, man, what are you going to buy with that? More contracts.
Yeah.
More stocks. You know what I can't wait to do? Get the fuck out of these options contracts. Because I've gotten to a point, like Morgan said, where it's exponential growth. This started out, these original contracts, I would make, $100, and then it was $500 a day, and then it was, $1,000 a day. Now it's in tens of thousands of dollars a day. And all I've seen is this number exponentially grow to where it's a very, very real possibility that, man, what's to say I don't make $60,000 a day on this? Again, as long as my trend continues. But I have a risk management plan. I have a strategy on what I'm doing. We're not 2019, Ryan. We're 2020, Ryan. We're taking this a lot more serious now. 2.0. There's I said 2020, Ryan. This isn't 2.0, Ryan. This is 2020, Ryan.
2020, Ryan.
But, so in my trading group, we have a great group of ladies and gentlemen. And, here's the one thing. People, they keep saying, yeah, but you know what? You should do this with your money. You should do that with your money. Yeah, maybe, I'm not going to stand or sit here and tell you guys I got this all figured out. I'm really freaking out because I just made $64,000 in 2 months and a week, 2 months and 2 weeks.
It's great.
So what is that? 10 weeks?
Yeah.
That's silly. $64,000 in 2 weeks. I'm not used to making that.
That's unbelievable.
So now I'm just more protective, though. As soon as I get off of here with you guys, I'm going to go back to researching. I'm going to go back to looking at all kinds of things. Today, I don't know how many of you guys woke up this morning so excited to look at the jobless claims. That was the most exciting thing I was going to do today, was look up jobless claims. Now, fact of the story is, though, jobless claims actually went down. So they're good right now. And everybody wanted to see what was going to happen today. That would have made it worse. Because, again, the jobless claims we got this week, guys, is when we took that first 3,500-point week drop. Okay, the initial push into where we are today. And everyone was thinking, oh, they're going to be worse because these temp jobs or this or whatever it was. Well, be told they're actually pretty good. Okay, now if next week is still good, hey, I'm going to start taking some of these gains now, because now again my indicators are telling me, hey, Ryan, sure, you're making all this money over here, but if you don't start slowing your brakes, start taking some of these gains, you know what, you will end up losing 100% of this money. So I'm going to have to eventually start pulling some of this money back out and slow down my growth. But right now, I truly believe this is not the bottom. Doesn't mean it is the bottom. Doesn't mean it is not the bottom. I'm like everybody else.
Right.
Nobody knows, and that is one thing I have learned. Anybody who's afraid to get into this market, or not this market, but I mean the market.
Yeah.
Be afraid to get into this market.
Yes.
This market is a bloodbath right
Volatile,
now.
Dude.
If you do not know what you're doing, you can lose a lot of money. We have a person that is over trading in our trading group right now. And they were following every single thing I was doing. They would be exactly where I am right now. And they still have a nice chunk of change. But they have actually tried to do what people have recommended me to do. Oh, take your gains, wait for it to go up. Problem is, there's so much volatility.
Right
and it's
now.
not like we're moving away like a normal average market where
Right.
300 a day, 400 a day.
Yes.
Woo, look at us. Oh, shit, it went $600 or 600
Yes.
points in a day. Check us out. We're doing amazing.
That's a point to
No,
make.
we are literally moving 2,000 points
Right.
a day, 1,000 points a day. We did 2352 today.
Yeah.
Points.
And that's the thing to make too.
That's crazy.
You were working on growing your account, like you were coming back. But
Oh, I
the
was finally
timing of
getting
this
it.
virus was perfect
Perfect
for
for me.
us because he was like,
If you could have recognized
Right.
it again in the
As a
second
trend.
week of February, how
Right.
many of you already started making plans for the coronavirus in the United States of America
like nobody,
the second week of February?
nobody.
Most
Like,
people not.
Most people were just like, Karen, wash your fucking hands. Like that was most people, and there's actually a lot of people still saying that, but that they just need to do their own research. But as far as everything else goes, the importance of being informed, like I get it. I don't watch the news either, but you can read the news. And
Yeah, I don't watch news either.
the giant-
by the way, I don't watch.
Yeah, I was gonna. That's the point.
I don't
to
watch
make,
any news.
Is that he is going outside? What, China in Focus or China in Touch or
Oh,
something?
I got a couple of Chinese
There's-
places
I mean,
I go to.
There's Al Jazeera.
Got a
There's
couple
the
Italian
Russian
places,
Times,
couple
the
Korean,
RT, right? Yeah, it's going outside because the mainstream media, you guys that are all freaking out about the mainstream media.
I do
and
use
how
a
they
lot of
report it,
NBC, ABC,
Right.
CNN, Fox News,
but it's a passive.
but I'm reading it.
Right.
I'm not being parroted. Somebody
Right.
just giving me their opinion on it. No, because, and again, in our trading group, I've been teaching
Right.
people how to read through bullshit when you look at these news articles. And funniest thing is, on our trading group, there was something that I've been looking for, an indicator that has happened in every, listen to me, every, all caps, every single country that has been hit with the coronavirus.
Yes.
And I just found it, I think it was 2-3 days ago. So, oh man, I got real excited. I told everybody this is exactly what I've been waiting to look for. And here's how little this little morsel is. And it was inside of a huge article, but it was about a patient that came into the doctor's office here in America, and they didn't test positive for the flu. They didn't test positive for coronavirus. So they sent them home and said, hey, and again, this isn't the hospital's fault. This is nobody's fault. This is
It's
the
virus.
virus, guys.
It's
the
it.
virus is known for doing this. Again, every country has hit this. And as
Yes.
soon as this came out in their country,
Boom.
that
It was
was
like
the
a
tender.
bubble.
Because
Yeah.
here's why this is bad. You have the index case. That's patient zero. That patient zero isn't a real word. It's called the index case. The index case, he goes in or she goes in to the doctor. The doctors and the hospital, they're fantastic. They do all the things they're supposed to do.
Right.
Again, there's no blame and there's no shaming
They
on
all
anybody.
wash their hands, you guys.
They tell you, go home, just let us know if it gets worse. But they test negative for flu and corona. That person then goes out. And this is when you're the most infectious,
Yes.
they are even believing, by the way,
Now.
because you're not testing.
Yeah.
So then they go out, they're touching every handrail, doorknob. Again, not their fault. They are not trying to do anybody any harm. They don't know. They're
Right.
told they are not contagious. They don't have anything, so they can't be contagious with anything. Then all of a sudden, their cases start to pop up around where this person lives. And then they find out, yep, we got people with coronavirus. And then they start doing the something tracing. I forget what it's called.
Oh, I don't remember what it's called. It's
Site
something tracing.
Something tracing. Where basically they
Patient
go
tracing,
in.
yeah.
Man, I don't know.
Something. They trace your steps.
They trace your steps to find out who's all infected.
Right.
Well, then that original index case comes back to the hospital. Hey, man, I'm sick as shit. You told me I didn't have anything. They test them again. Bam, coronavirus.
Yeah.
Now they know this is the index case. This person accidentally, this is important, accidentally. They're not out there spitting on elevator buttons
Right.
and hawking loogies in their hand and, rubbing it on doorknobs, guys. This person, they were told nothing's wrong. Well, now they have coronavirus, okay? That's how this goes. So whenever I heard that article 2 days ago, bam, and look, all of a sudden now,
Dude, our
we are
cases
taking it
crazy.
very, very serious. And one thing I did want to bring up, this is my personal opinion, by the way, and this isn't to do this. Listen, Don't be political about this coronavirus.
Yeah,
Leave your
please.
fucking side on
Stop.
either which way. But this is my own personal opinion, by the way. I kind of wonder if President Trump and this whole mismanagement of the coronavirus testing, okay? I kind of wonder if the powers that be weren't actually saying, let's not kick out this test yet, because we know our insurers, they would have gotten greedy very quickly. And I'm telling you right now, if you get this, bad enough, this can end up, it will
Cost
bankrupt
you.
families.
Yeah,
it would bankrupt a family.
Yeah.
And I kind of wonder, did our government, hopefully, this is me wishful thinking,
Sure.
did our government not halt the testing just to make sure that we didn't become billions of dollars all of a sudden in debt with medical bills?
Sure.
And the insurers, man, they're now seeing 50, 100, 500 billion dollars they can make. They're not going to then fucking come to the table. No, they already have this in their bank account, or they already have this on their financial statements. And it was right after Trump and all these guys started, the insurance companies started talking, that all of a sudden now you're seeing these tests you're seeing the infection rates grow exponentially now. They're just getting higher and higher and higher.
We're at 1670 confirmed U.S. cases, 40 deaths, and 30 recovered. And the recovered number.
At least that recovery number started to grow. It was 8 forever.
Higher. The only thing I worry about is I have read multiple stories about people being infected for up to 30 days and not showing
I've only
signs.
heard, by the way, one of those stories, and it was someone that was
I've heard two.
infecting for 27 to 30 days, and it was only one. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm telling you that's only what I've heard.
And that's what everybody's running into. And that's the main thing. When you have multiple news sources you're looking at, you can get confirmation from everything. And if you watch the Ricky Gutierrez videos, I highly, highly suggest you do that. I will post a link below. He is great for basics. He does stock trading. We have moved into the options contracts, so we will jump into stocks after this down, obviously, but not right now. Options is really the way to go. And the reason options are the way to go is because it's like you can short, but you don't have infinite losses. You only lose what you paid.
So if you put $1,000 in, you can only lose 1,000. If you if you really short a market, you can lose as much. You can lose, you could say I'm wanting to lose 1,000. You could lose $100,000 tomorrow. I mean, it could happen that fast, especially in this market.
And you'll end up owing Tommy two times.
two times.
I had some crackle, sorry.
Yeah, you got excited.
You got some Tommy two times, yeah. So, that is a big deal with the news and everything. And here's the thing. I would post news articles. It's not to freak people out. We've prepared for this weeks ago. And if you were following us and you are fans and you do believe what we say, I try not to post anything that's going to freak people out.
I put my money where my mouth is, guys. And I highly encourage you all, if you're going to have an opinion about this, you better put your money where your mouth is. Because, again, if you think this is nothing, then, again, man, you better start pumping all in, because this economy does need you right now to save this stock market.
Yeah.
But if you do believe this is not good, stay out of this market. Yeah. I'm serious. If you don't know anything about this market right now, you don't want to jump in. You dang sure do not want to start learning options right now. And I know a lot of people, they keep telling me, man, just tell me what I need to do. Tell me what I need to do.
Tell me what to buy.
Tell me what to buy.
Right.
Here's the thing. I could tell you what to buy. Freaking Warren Buffett could have told me what to buy. And I would, if you don't have a strategy, you don't have a risk management plan, if you don't understand what you're really doing, if you don't understand what you're truly trading, you don't need to be trading it. Because, like I said, Warren Buffett last year could have said, yeah, you can buy this, you're make a lot of money. But if I didn't know how to play it, I would fuck this up. This thing, I've had so many people in the trading group, hey man, you need to take this, you need to take this, you need to take this. They did their one thing, I did my thing, and here I am now, today. So this trading group, though, is one of the best places, because you throw an idea up, it's going to get eaten. It's going to get eaten. People are going to have opinions on it. They're going to, and they're not dumb opinions either.
No.
But I have a piece of puzzle that finally clicked. I think it was like at the beginning of us getting in these specific options contracts. I watch Yahoo Finance every single day. If you don't understand what's going on, watch Yahoo Finance. Those people are so awesome, man. They're
it's less political and less
they
biased.
Don't get real into whoever the president is. They'll say some things sometimes, but it's not negative or whatever. They just talk about whatever's going on. They don't try to make it left, right. They try to make it pretty, just right down the middle and keep it with finance. But learn these terms. Understand what people are talking about. Don't be afraid right now. You are in one of the most opportune times. If you're a millennial right now, you should be jumping up and down.
Yeah.
And I hope you have your money correct, because right now we are going through such a huge transfer of wealth between boomers to millennials, boomers to Generation Xers. If you are in these groups and you do not understand what's going on, I highly, highly encourage you to make this your 2008. There will be another market crash, I promise you. There definitely is going to be. Everyone always thinks it's gone, long gone over. I thought the sky was falling in 2008. You couldn't have told me any fucking different, man. I was preparing for the end of the fucking world.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm realizing, man, my life just fucking started. And because of this transfer of wealth right now, if you take advantage of this right now, even if you're not in the market, figure some hustle out. Figure some way to flip some cash. People, this is as easy as it is. Flip your money.
Yes.
Don't take that money you sold. I got a buddy of mine, he actually just came to me, and he had the opportunity to buy a truck, a 2000 something truck for $500. Nothing wrong with it but a busted side mirror and a window that's just not on the track anymore. And he was going to bring it to a body shop, do all this work on it. I said, bro, you got $500 into this thing. I looked it up on Kelley Blue Book. It's worth $5,000. I said, man, have someone clean it. So he works for the Seattle Seahawks. He had whoever their detailer is clean the vehicle for him, and it didn't cost him a dime. Still, he's only in $500. He threw it on the market and then just sold it for $3,600 because the guy wanted to negotiate.
Flip your game.
But again, he just took $500 and flipped it into $3,600.
Yeah.
And then I told him, hey, do not take that money and say, hey, I'm going to go buy a hoverboard. I'm going to go, put it as a down payment on a new Tesla or some shit like that. No, now you take that $3,600 and you find how to flip that again. And then you take that money, you flip that again, and you just keep flipping your cash. There's got to be an account that you never fucking touch. It's not for vacations. It's not for, going on some crazy adventure. It's merely only to just flip, continue to flip. Right. And where my original money for this thing came from was my grandmother gave me $6,000, and that's when we got into the crypto market.
Yep.
We turned that $6,000 in about 24. When we finally sold, we made about 17. And then we took some of that and did, we'll just say, stuff with it. Nothing like blowing money, by the way.
No, we saved some.
But anyways, we did something with this money, we'll say. And then we took the original investment out. And then, boom, I took some of that, what was left of that money, and threw it in this Robinhood account, which was $9,000. And then moved it to 14. Here we are today. Because you saw, or what happened after that 14,000. I had to pay. I got taxed for my education, thinking I knew what I was doing. So,
and that's what I was
but
gonna
I'm
tell
glad
everybody.
It happened. Honestly, I really am.
You guys need to also know, if you haven't been following us for a while, we originally started looking into this 3 years ago when cryptocurrency started becoming a thing on Coinbase.
Bruce Laird.
Yeah,
the guy that we actually just had on
the last podcast we had,
very last one,
with Avery Valley Growers. We were staying on their farmland or whatever, in the bus after we sold some honey for them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he and I and Ryan, we would talk about the crypto game. And the thing with crypto was, it was so new. You were moving thousands of dollars a day. It was roller coaster. It was like
options
stock.
contracts.
Yes.
No, it wasn't like regular stocks. It was like options contracts.
Just the stock market right now. But yeah, no, it was like options contracts.
Fact.
And I think maybe for our generation, because we're so used to that fast, give it to me now, in my hand.
Boys, Game Boys.
Yes, everything was
Sega
so
Game
immediate.
Gears. Fuck yeah, I want it. Amazon now.
I needed to be exciting. Anytime I thought stock
What's
market.
What's that comedian?
I can't remember his fucking name.
He
Netflix.
Is awesome. Yeah.
He's an Asian guy, and he's fucking hilarious.
Johnny something, I want to say.
Y'all need to look him up. Anyway, so
amazing.
It basically, you have to understand that. You got to understand that we have been in that kind of a volatile situation, and it's exciting, okay? It's like watching a football game. When I thought of stocks, I used to think like old people buying some Ford stocks in 1950, and then like in 1997 they gave it to their grandson, and now it's worth like $20,000, and I'm like, oh wow. I didn't know that there was other ways to play it. And I tried to get into the fundamental side, and I didn't like that. Technicals were way more fun. I have more fun finding trends. The problem is sometimes you can be too smart for your own good.
Fact.
You can have too much information.
Let me tell you, hold on. Let me stop you right there.
Go ahead.
Because you know what? Someone reminded me today. So, I could actually have made 2,000% more on my NVIDIA contract. And you know the only thing that stopped me? Because this was new, Ryan. 2020, Ryan. No more games. We're going to be very structured, very rigid. And 2 cents kept me from making an extra 2,000% gains on this NVIDIA.
It's easy to do.
Because, again, old me was like, I'll pay whatever. No. I actually knew where I believed this thing could go. I knew why I wanted to do this. I have this whole strategy now. I'm not going away from this. I'm going to be that rigid. And that rigidness, though, did make me be where I am today as well. But yeah, there is one little move that 2 cents, which equals $2 a share. Man.
You gotta respect it, though, because here's the thing. If you would have jumped in your mind, you would have thought that's probably luck. Because you were 100%, but you weren't 100%. And that's the thing with the stock market. You can't be 100%.
Nobody. Guys, nobody. No, that's very important right there.
You cannot be 100%.
Every expert that you're hearing, every article that you're reading, guys, none of this is 100%.
No.
That's why I tell you, you have to be your own investor. And I'm not here telling you I got this all figured out. I'm telling you I don't have this figured out. That's the difference between me from last year and this year. I know how scary this is, what I'm doing right now, because I understand what's going on. But again, that's why I'm staying my course right now. You can overtrade and literally kill your war chest. I call my account my war chest. If you overtrade, you're getting out of this position just to get into that position because you can get more, shares, or you can get more contracts, or this or that. And no. You are going to lose a lot of money sitting there thinking that trading is every day on the stock market, give me this. Hey. It's not that crazy. It is literally you clicking 3 buttons, entering your contract, calling it a fucking day. And literally since the second week of February, I've just been kind of Cadillacing, arms crossed. I watched my Yahoo Finance. And again, it was a couple $100, a couple $1,000, $10,000, tens of thousands of dollars. And that just continued to exponentially grow. Because again, with your options contracts, I'll tell you right now, where people are making a lot of mistakes. I'm even seeing on Facebook, people telling, they're trying to. You guys know me. I never get on Facebook ever. I'm not a social media type person. I didn't do this to brag. That's not what it is. It was actually, right now, it's kind of scary. Right now, a lot of people are freaking the fuck out.
Buying toilet paper.
And for good reason. Because this is the coronavirus and nobody's ever had to deal with it before. We are the first human species to deal with this thing.
Right.
So...
And that's something too,
I get it's scary.
Everybody is a stock expert. Everybody is a science expert. Everybody's an endocrinologist.
I'm not an expert, by the way, people.
Guess what? Nobody knows what the fuck this is or what is going on.
Warren Buffett doesn't know.
Nobody knows. But it's okay.
Why doesn't he sell?
Freak out.
People ask him, well, Warren Buffett, he never sells. Because if that man just took $58 billion out of the market, it would make what happened today just look like a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
We lost trillions of dollars today.
Yeah.
I want to say this is the worst since 1987 or the worst ever.
That's what I've heard, yeah.
I got, Golden Monday was last Monday, or was it this Monday? It was Golden Monday. It was Black Monday for most people. I reversed it and called it Golden Monday because... I want to say I made $15,000 that day.
Yeah.
So. And
that's the thing. Back in 2008, we said we were like, I want to be in a position. We heard a guy say, the government told me exactly what to buy,
right.
And that's the guy I always think about.
Today, I still think of that guy and
What did he say? Tell him.
So there was a guy, and they said, "Don't you feel bad? You've made $7 billion on this market right now."
On the crash.
Yeah, on the crash.
On the 08 crash.
And no, it wasn't on the crash. No, that wasn't on the crash.
Oh.
It was during the crash. How do you feel bad making $7 billion?
Yeah.
Because he only invested like $1 million and ended up with $7 billion. And he's like, no, why would I feel bad? He goes, the government told me exactly what to invest my money with.
Yep.
And so I was like, what is he talking about? Then he continued. The government told us they are going to save the banks. They did an $800 billion bailout to save the banks. So, ladies and gentlemen, right now, if you're not listening to every State of the Union address, if you're not listening to Powell, the Fed Reserve chairman right now, if you're not listening to these leaders tell you exactly what to do with your money right now, and listen to them, don't be crying back when it's, when it's 2025 and you're like, shit, I should have done that. They're telling you right now, if they go to bail out the airlines, put your money in stocks in the airlines. Don't go contracts, because contracts expire. Put all the money that you want into one of these airlines.
Cruises.
Because if they tell you they're going to bail it out, guys, that's the new society we live in. Whether you like it or not, they're actually talking about helicopter policies where they're going to now start picking winners and losers just so we don't get that bad. And it is called the helicopter policy. Right. Don't believe me? Look it up.
Yeah.
They're not doing it yet, but they're talking about that.
Listen to it.
So if you're not listening right now, if your ears aren't open, don't worry about the fucking noise. Get your family squared away. Stay away from fucking people. And now start worrying about your future. What are you going to be doing in 2025 is what you need to be asking yourself. Yeah. Where am I going to be that's different now in 2025? Right. Don't listen to the experts. Listen to yourself. Because the best, I promise you, the best investment you can ever make is in yourself.
Fact.
Morgan and I are a testament to that.
We preach it all
Selling
the time.
houses, living in a freaking bus. And people ask me, why don't you guys? If you guys don't need this, why do you live in a bus? Because it's fucking easy.
It's fucking
and I pay $100
easy.
a month for rent. And our freaking
electric.
Neighbors are like the coolest neighbors you could ever ask for.
So
like,
cool.
Why would I not
quiet.
want to do this?
There's a beautiful view.
Oh, the mountain?
Eventually, yes.
Tons of hiking.
We are always actively looking for investments. We're looking for real estate.
Oh, we're going to buy houses, people. But we're not going to live in any of these houses.
I was going to say, the Federal Reserve just slashed rates like 3 weeks before their meeting. Okay? Yes, when I've been saying it's not time yet. It's just not time yet.
Understand what that means, by the way.
This is what we're waiting for. Because I have been waiting since 2008. Okay?
Yeah.
And I even bought a huge, our last house, $200,000 mortgaged house in between that.
Silly.
But here's the thing.
No, it wasn't silly because it actually brought us here.
Then, I was
but
gonna say,
I was having 2 houses at that time, not understanding.
2-3 cars. We were fucking
We weren't
lifestyles,
using
bro.
other people's money. We were using our money. So.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. People all the time now, they're like, man, you're all about this. Other people's money. Other people's money.
Yes.
What is other people's money? OPM. Use other people's money. Contracts are other people's money. I did not own. So the beginning of this whole thing was Apple. I didn't use my money for Apple. I've been now using and will continue to use other people's money. All this money that I have now that you guys saw, that is other people's money.
Tips from our pumpkin patch.
I'm not going to buy shit. Oh my gosh.
Some of it's tips, you guys.
I haven't paid for Corona prepping at all.
It was
Thank
tips.
you, by the way.
Thank you, Sierra Vista.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sierra Vista, for your tips at the lot. That went to our Corona prepping. Thank you for anybody that's ever bought any of our resale items.
Yes.
That went towards our Corona prepping. And guess what? Because I took our business account to pay for that, just because it was in the account right there, and I was like, I'll just use this card. So then what I told myself was, you know what, Ryan? You finally got a grasp on this trend. You finally understand what's going on, and you can read what's happening, because it's literally impossible to read technicals right now and know what's going on.
Right.
So I took $800. I didn't tell Morgan about it because she would freak out. And here we go.
Rob said buying corporations, house rich, cash poor.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Rob's actually trying to sell a house. Oh, as soon as he went to get his house, he's been working for the last 3 months on his home. House is fucking beautiful. If you need a house in Asheville, North Carolina, hit Robert Johnson up. He has a house. Interest rates are low right now.
It's prime buying time, you guys.
But yeah, he spends 3 months fixing this up. Finally, he talks to his realtor, and boom, coronavirus hit us. So fucking bummer. But what was I saying?
You were talking about Apple, how it all started. Everybody else's money.
Oh, so I I made a lot of people's money off of Apple. And, no, I was telling you about, I took that $800 out, and I don't remember what I invested in. I did use SPY contracts. It was SPY put contracts.
SPY is the S&P 500, FYI.
And, anyways, I flipped that $800 in one day into $2,100. I think it was, it was $2,100.
Okay.
And then a day after that, I jumped into something else because, again, this is now money just for that business. I was like, hey, man, let me just hurry up and pay for all that Corona, virus prepping supplies. And I think that thing, I'll tell you exactly how much that money's worth now. $800, by the way, is what we're talking about. Oh my God.
What?
I didn't know that.
What is it?
Holy shit.
Tell me.
Okay, so that $800 has turned into $10,000, by the way. Yeah. Yeah.
See, and that
Today
was
I made
spy.
$6,000 just
How
off that
much-
$800.
What was the contract when you bought that, and how long is that contract for? Because we used to do weekly contracts,
Shit.
and my fucking guts.
June 19th, 2020.
June 19th. My guts would hurt. I would be playing these week-long contracts, and I'm just like, just let it ride. And I'd watch that bitch go all the way to 1 cent, and you cannot sell it once it's after 5 cents. You usually just can't even sell it. I can't even get $5 off this thing. Okay, it was awful.
Oh, and
But-
when it gets down to below 5 cents, good luck trying to sell it.
Right. We have learned in options contracts, the tip is to buy them farther out. It costs a little bit more money sometimes.
If you catch
If
a
you catch
trend.
it. Yeah, right. Catch a trend.
So when we get to the bottom of this thing, no lie, I am going to buy some SPY call options. I'm
go
going
up.
to ride this thing up. And guess what? I'm not going to buy it for 3 months, 6 months out. I'm going to buy it for the next year out. And I'm going to ride it. And as soon as I think, if I own it for a year and after 6 months I think, man, that's as high as I think that's honestly going to get, we're just kind of flying too high, boom. And also, do look out. We might have the V-shape or the U-shape
Yeah,
recovery
sure.
that everyone's screaming about. It's not going to be tomorrow. I hate to tell you that.
No.
And I do know that for certainty.
Yeah.
Will it go up tomorrow? I'm actually expecting an update tomorrow. So I'm going to
Something.
take and I'm going to incur some of those losses. That $64,000 isn't safe
right,
at all.
Right. It's not.
But come Monday, again, these infection rates are going to continue to go up. We're going to continue to look at these jobless claims because that right now is something everybody needs to be looking at. Whether
Yes.
you're in the markets or not, you're going to find out. If you want to know, are we going to go in a recession? Start watching those.
And I think that's
We're
the
going to run
short-
into cash flow problems right now. I wanted to say a good job to Walmart, a good job to Microsoft, Apple, any company,
Yeah,
Facebook.
Nike has even cleaned. They shut down their shit and cleaned
Anybody, any of these large corporations that are taking care of their workers, fucking good on you.
Yes.
Thank you for doing that. Thank you for, you have made enough on this bull market that
Yes.
you are able to, not enough as in you shouldn't make anymore. I meant enough like
it. You can take care
you
of your
can
people.
take care of your people. And if
Yeah.
you take care of your people, that just makes a better America for
Man,
tomorrow. It really
it does.
It really does.
And that's the problem, and that's why this virus and the stock investment talk is the same. I know everybody's sick of it, but I'm going to tell you, like,
Don't fight, come together.
come together.
We need a team
Yes.
right now. That's the only way we're going to make it through this thing.
Right.
So
and that's the important part about just being aware. Okay, like, oh man, I forgot where I was going with that.
stop fighting the whole, it's like the flu. It doesn't matter what the fuck it's like.
Doesn't
It is the
fucking
coronavirus,
matter.
period.
Right.
Doesn't matter what it's like. Doesn't matter what the stock market's doing. If we're not looking out for each other right now, if we're not sharing this information, if we're not being polite to one another right now, we're missing the whole point of what is going on in this world. We are not just hurting as Americans right now. The entire
The whole
globe
world.
is
Yeah.
hurting right now. There are people sadly dying because of this. Okay? Again, it's a low death rate, though. Do not freak out about
And I get
this.
it. It's all the old people. I get it. No, but there are people in their 40s and 50s that are dying. And here's the thing. And the
Athletes that are dying.
short-sightedness of this. Everybody's selfish. I get it. We're involved in our own world.
I
you
admit that.
forget, okay? The NBA just stopped. The MLB stopped.
Good call.
NHL
Yeah.
stopped. NCAA stopped.
Tom
South
Hanks
by
has
Southwest
it.
stopped.
His
Tom
wife
Hanks
has it.
was filming a movie in Australia. The movie has now shut down. Warner Brothers is not
So what's
doing
your
movies.
point to this, by the way?
My point is, these are all fucking jobs. When you don't have a job, you don't make money, you cannot buy the things you need to buy. If you get the virus, if you need to shit and wipe your ass.
Well, we
if you
just
need to
talked
buy
about how some of
food.
the companies are taking care of
Some
people.
are, but I'm saying the NHL, MLB. This is now starting to affect our average Americans. Like,
I
how
don't
many
think
people?
they're going to show up on the jobless claims, though, babe. They
No,
make a lot of money.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying for all the other Americans, okay, this is just starting with big things.
Oh, yeah,
What
yeah,
happens
true,
when it
true.
trickles to you? I'm saying, like,
There you go. I
you
get
guys,
it.
if it hasn't hit you in the fucking face yet, to be prepared for anything, I can't help you. I don't know what to say. But you should. You should be. I get it, everybody's making fun of everybody buying toilet paper. I agree. You shouldn't be buying toilet
I
paper
had someone laugh
now.
at me. I got called a doomsday prepper.
Yeah, you shouldn't
So,
be buying
no
toilet
lie,
paper now.
it was about 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I went to Walmart and I saw this report in Australia, okay? And now at this point, I'm making this exponential growth. I'm making these awesome gains. And I hear about these people knife fighting in
Yeah.
Australia about toilet paper. And I
This
was
is
like,
a knife.
Morgan, she is, she was asleep, and after working with VIP kids, and so I was like sitting there watching the market. I'm making nice money, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm gonna go get a bunch of toilet paper because I'm not personally. I am like level 1 knife fighter. If it goes to level 10 and level 1's the bottom, I'm a
Yeah.
level 1 knife fighter.
Yeah.
So you got a really good by the way beating me in a knife fight. So. I'm not fighting anybody for some fucking toilet paper. I'm just going to go ahead and buy it now. Well, I'm in the aisle, and I'm with Ryan, our oldest. And this guy, he just, like, in the loudest fucking voice possible, oh, look at all these doomsday preppers buying toilet paper. And I just really started laughing because I didn't know what else to do. Because, like, I got gloves on my hand. I look crazy. That's cool. But I ain't catching this fucking thing. I might catch it, but I'm doing everything I can.
Right.
I'm gonna now. The reason why I shaved is because I'm gonna start wearing that mask that the government told you it doesn't fucking matter.
Fuck
It doesn't
you,
work.
I don't care.
It hangs in the air. It came out in a Chinese virologist's research. It hangs in the air for 30 minutes and it can affect you for 30 minutes. It does come from that bigger spatter that everybody's talking about. That's why you're washing your hands.
But 30 minutes, guys.
But for 30 minutes, it can hang in the air and turn into an aerosol. That large spatter can turn into an aerosol for 30 minutes, and they did prove that, by the way. That's not conspiracy theory. That is actual medical researched facts now, by the way.
You can wash your hands all the fuck you want. That's not going to stop it from entering your body if it's aerosol in a room for 30 minutes.
But you should wash your hands.
But you should still wash your hands, but that's not the only thing that's going to help you, okay?
So anyways, I'll finish the story about the guy.
Yeah.
So, I just laugh because I do look fucking crazy. I got fucking purple gloves on, and so my daughter turns around. She laughs.
Ooh.
And then he shut up.
Ouch.
And I don't know what it was, but I guess a 14-year-old laughing at him is enough to shut some people up. But then I was laughing about that. But yeah, guys, who gives a fuck what people think about you, first off? I just look at it as, it's not my fault if you are not in a financial position to take care of your family as a man.
Right.
If you feel the need to have to say shit out loud, I got 99 problems, and you are not one of them, I promise. So if you're worried about wearing your mask, your goggles, and I do recommend, I got fucking goggles. You'll see it. We'll take a picture of it.
Yeah.
You don't want that spit to get in your eyes because now it gets into your bloodstream. So, again, call me crazy what you will, but I put my money where my mouth is. I'm still riding these gains. I'm still in the position today that I believe it is going to go up tomorrow because this is not the bottom. So right now, just so you know, I am putting it all on the line, literally $64,000 to bet that this is going to get worse.
Absolutely.
And if it started at, making $6 to today I made $34, what's to say I'm not going to make $100,000 the next time?
Yeah.
So again, this isn't me just telling you my opinion, which really it is, but I'm literally putting my money where my mouth is, and I have called it ever since the beginning.
That's
Morgan, she gets real heated about this.
I do.
And I would see her on Facebook calling, you look at these fucking idiots, look at this, look at this. And I was like, what does it matter what these people are doing? They're grown-ass adults in America. Let them do it. Yeah, you do.
I'm going to tell you, though, and that's what I was going to say, though, was you shouldn't be buying toilet paper now, you guys. That's what's fucking laughable, all y'all making fun of it. Y'all should have bought toilet paper a month ago, 2 weeks ago, when it was bad in other countries, because when you go now, everybody's like, oh, there's no toilet paper. You're right. You're not going to get any toilet paper.
There's still toilet paper. Stop freaking people out. There's fucking toilet paper.
For how long?
What country, though? Was it that No, stop. There was a newspaper. Was it Australia?
It was Australia because
Tell
they're
the
out of toilet paper.
Tell the story, then.
So, the newspaper
Stop acting like
in
everything's
Australia,
all lost. It's not sky's falling, chicken little.
No, I just
You're gonna
want
be fine.
people to be prepared and to stop saying shit.
Well, you should have done a podcast
stupid.
for your fans, Morgan, but you were too busy.
Man, I've been made fun of enough for being chicken little.
Kidding.
Fuck all that. Which is why I feel like so strongly about this, though, because I was, I did freak out in 2008, in 2012. I was like prepper, full-on mentality. But now I've just learned to harness it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So there's always that little person in my head that's like, Morgan, you're freaking out, man.
Morgan is freaking out, ladies and gentlemen. Morgan is literally freaking the fuck out. And Morgan doesn't even know what the fuck's going on. She's just happy to be here type thing. She's just fucking happy to be a part of this fucking team.
Guys, I'm just so happy to be here today.
But no, so if you really want to learn how to invest, how to trade, listen, I've told you guys all what you need to be doing. Go back and listen to our podcast, okay? There was no secret to why I made money today. There is no get rich, hey, you just buy this tomorrow.
All the information.
No, because I'm going to tell you right now, I've been looking at the SPY puts, and they're getting harder and harder to buy into.
Yeah, they are.
At the cost of pennies on the dollar. Okay. Now, the one thing I am going to do towards the end of this, I am going to start transitioning out of these put contracts. And I am going to, when the time is right, start taking these gains and start moving them back into the oil field. Look at Shell. Shell offers, oh man,
12%, I think you said. Was it 12?
I don't exactly remember what it was, but it was a nice little return. I'm looking it up right now. Sorry, guys. Hate to mumble for you. Oh, IIPR is now down to $65. IIPR, it has always been $70, $80, $90, $100 plus dollars.
Yeah.
Got up to $120 something dollars. It's like the McDonald's of weed stores. So again, as this goes down, you best believe I got an extra 10K. I'm just going to throw that 10K right into IIPR. Doesn't have a dividend, but
it's low.
Where is it at? Here it is. So Shell has a 8.6% dividend right now. Okay. Right now, it would be nice to be able to take some money, throw it into one of these, companies that I know has room for growth, because again, we're going through a recession right now, or not right now. Excuse me. We're going through the bear market right now, not a recession. I apologize. ExxonMobil, they have a 8% dividend yield, and ExxonMobil's $37. Okay, go to the 5-year on this thing. The 5-year on this thing, the high of it's $95, by the way.
Damn.
You can pick it up for $37. So even if you did buy it right now, it's not a bad investment. But you're going to have to hold it. But again, every amount of money you put in there, you're going to make 8% so far on the yield. Schlumberger, they have a 10.9% yield. I used to work for Schlumberger. I would totally buy into Schlumberger, okay? Totally. It is a fantastic company. So look for these, and by the way, the oil deal that's going on, we could start seeing anywhere from, I think it's $12 or $16 to $20 a barrel. So great for if you want to go take a trip after this coronavirus thing.
Sure.
Bad if you're an oil company, because eventually these guys are going to become insolvent. And we are going to see more companies going bankrupt.
Right.
That's what all these moves are right now that you see from the federal government. Fuck politics. These are the moves you're trying to see. We're trying to prevent these companies because, honestly, truth be told, we now have taken that pullback, and it is not nonsense, okay? These experts are right about this. We could have that V-shape, U-shape right after we get through Corona.
Yeah.
If we don't get through COVID-19,
yeah,
or protect ourselves or hedge ourselves to get ready for that run-up, then we are going to go into something probably worse than a recession, okay? So the moves that are being made right now are to save your retirement.
Right.
These aren't silly moves. What's happening when you see, hey, we just injected $500 billion, but yet the market still ate it.
Right.
Tomorrow, I'm honest, the market is still going down right now after hours, by the way, but I would not be surprised if I lost maybe 20 grand tomorrow.
Right.
Because again, we got to price that 500 in. That was not a dumb move.
It wasn't a stimulus
Does it add
either.
debt to us? No. Or yes, it does add debt to us. But is that going to destroy us? No. That is keeping us propped up so we can turn right back around from taking this loss and immediately go right back into everything's normal. Apple's going to be a great freaking buy. We have to. The global manufacturing right now is slowing down.
Right.
I don't care what you're making me nervous because you keep trying to interrupt me, and you told me I was going to talk. So do you want to hold this podcast?
No, I'm just agreeing.
You want to
with
tell
you.
them to freak out some more, or do you want to teach them something? Okay.
No, go
So
ahead.
stop interrupting me. So man, see, I already lost my train of thought. I already knew this was going to happen. You got to calm down. You're like,
Oh, I'm in
like
the,
right in
I'm
between,
my
man.
bad. I'm just
You're like way
excited.
too excited about this.
Sorry.
And you made
You're
like.
giving good info. It's all.
So stop interrupting,
Yeah.
Morgan. You're fucking these people over right now.
But he's making really good points on all of this stuff. Like, it's the indicators. It's like when it's the timing, the global manufacturing.
This is going to come back. Do
Right.
not freak out and think this is the end of
Right.
the world. This is not the zombie apocalypse. At least I fucking hope not, man, because I don't got enough ammo for the zombie apocalypse. But this will come back. There are great buys. Apple. When Apple start, they're not, like I said, this is not done coming down. We have not found the bottom, I believe, okay? But when we do, and even if you don't catch it exactly on the bottom, you're still buying it at what is Apple right now, Morgan? Do you even know? Look up Apple real quick.
Yeah.
But like I just told you with Shell, when I just told you with Exxon, Schlumberger, there's another one, ET. They have about, last I heard, was a 12.3 dividend. It's a great company out of Texas. I got a buddy that works for them. They're a phenomenal company. They were going for about $6 today. But everything's going to take a haircut. And right now, if you have never been in the market, Apple is at 200. So it's 241.55. So Apple, though, at its height, I want to say was 330.
Damn.
I lied. It's 327. Apple's high was 327. Okay.
That's still good.
And now we're at 241. So I mean, shit. Just in the last month, we've lost $82. Last 3 months, we've lost 29. So yeah, because it's too far out now.
And why do you think that is?
Why do I think we're losing money?
Why do you think Apple's, like, because manufacturing?
It's global No, I know for a fact it's global manufacturing. Another thing, and that isn't horseshit, by the way. And again, remember, guys, if you've been listening to this, I talk with Chinese manufacturers. I actually get blown up all the time lately about medical supplies. And, oh, shoot, what was I going to say? Oh, it's not nonsense, by the way. The manufacturers have been fluffing their numbers of electricity to inflate that, for the Chinese government to say, oh, yeah, we're producing all of this shit. They do not have the workers right now, not because they went anywhere, but because people are fucking afraid of this thing. Mm-hmm. They don't want to go back to the manufacturing plant and now be in close proximity with somebody else. Because in China, they were having this increased rise of people catching the coronavirus twice. That many. I only had one finger. But yeah.
That many. But that's the thing, is that I think a lot of people are like, oh my god, I need to get in the stock market. Let me buy the dip. It's not there yet. Can you tell people
it's more difficult than just buy the dip.
Can you tell people some of the indicators maybe that they could look for, that like news articles, like the vaccines, because, and I say that because we both have been saying this. It doesn't matter.
That's a black swan for us.
Yes. It doesn't matter what the Federal Reserve does monetarily. It's not going to stop the coronavirus from spreading.
That's not just the United States, by the way.
Link that together, you guys.
Stop. That's not just the United States. Every single country has eaten their stimulus, has eaten their quantitative easing, has eaten whatever. We've put over $2 trillion into trying to fight this with money. Guys, the entire global market has eaten every bit of this stimulus up. Houses are slowing down. Sure, there's some houses being sold right now. Mm-hmm. But here's the main problem. If we don't try to help this out right now, when we do get to the bottom of this, we will not be able to turn this back around.
Yes.
And that's the scariest thing, more than this fucking virus. Because everyone is going to get this virus. It's a guarantee.
Get over it.
But do not get this thing now. You want to get this after millions of people in this country have gotten it. You do not want to get it right in the middle of an epidemic, or of the epidemic in your little county or town or city or wherever you're at. Because, again, there's only... Someone did the numbers. They said if all the numbers that have been talked about for COVID-19 are true, these are the numbers, he said. There's going to be 200,000 people that really need critical care. We only have 100,000 hospital beds. This gentleman said, again, I'm taking this information. I wish I had the article for you. It was Zero Hedge. Very, very conservative, I guess, Zero Hedge. They get a lot of whatever, but I just liked the guy's numbers. I guess he's an engineer. So 200,000 people are going to need critical care. They said we have 100,000 hospital beds in the United States of America. 60-something% of them are already taken up because of viruses or whatever, like flu or something bad. That broken arm, I don't know, whatever the fuck you go to a hospital bed for. They have about 12,000 respirators, 8,000 in reserves. But again, overall, we're going to need 200,000 of all these things. Beds, respirators, and we don't have them. So your best bet is to not be a part of this little fucking cog of, let's just go fucking everyone get coronavirus in one time. No, you're hurting your nurses. You're hurting your doctors. You're hurting your local county. You do not want to get this until they have a treatment or they have a vaccine for this. That's just my own opinion. Do what you want to do, though.
That's the selfishness of people, though, and that's what I keep telling them. Like, yeah, but if you go out and you're going on cruises and you're going on vacation and you're carrying this and you don't know.
We know someone that just went on a cruise like 2 days ago.
Or you're catching it because you went to somewhere, because you needed to go on vacation. Guys, we've canceled our vacations. We were going to go to 3 places this year, and there's one that we're still tentative on. So
we've closed things in the past before.
Yes, because of this. Like, and I get it. Everybody's going to do what they need to do and do what they want, but that's the problem, okay? If we don't take it seriously especially now, it will continue to spread and get worse. But yeah, you keep going to your Girl Scout meetings.
I say you do what you want to do because I'm going to do what I
here.
want to do. Morgan's going to sit here and bitch at you for a while, but it's as simple as that. Morgan,
it's
on to the next
spread,
thing.
though. But the indicators.
What
that
are we
you're
saying?
looking
I see a lot of movement over there.
Oh, it's just nothing. The indicators.
It's just nothing.
The indicators are though that he's looking at, like our vaccine development, right? New pharmaceutical companies may be coming.
No, that's not an indicator I'm looking for. That's just something. That's news. That's research I'm looking out for.
That you would think to
indicator. I already said jobless claims right now because we're going down, people. There's nothing that's going to turn this around. This will get worse before it gets better. Not because I say that, but because open up your laptop and go back to the genesis of when this started. And just start playing it back out on every single country that's ever been hit. I'm not making these stories up. We're just going to have to go through that. We're not, because we're Americans, we're going to just go through this unscathed. No, we're going to go through this. And it's going to fucking suck. And good luck to you. And I bet you 99% of the people, I guarantee you, it's not even honestly 3.4% mortality rate. The problem we're having is there's not enough testing because it's a new virus, okay? So I guarantee you this is just going to take place of the flu. We're going to laugh at the flu back in the day, and now we're going to be like, everybody gets COVID. But we're going to be okay. I truly believe that.
I agree. I think we are too. I just wish that we could be
You get
proactive.
people all rised up, though, man.
I wish we could be proactive instead of reactive, like China and Italy.
But we're human beings.
Yeah.
We're more reactive than we are proactive.
That's true. But since this whole thing with sports has come out, I think a lot more people are going to take it a little bit more seriously. Maybe if they can telecommute, they do that. I don't know. But that was something else too I wanted to let you guys know is, there are...
Did you say telecommute?
Yeah, telecommute. It means to go to work online.
Okay.
So instead of going to work, you commute telephonically.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So work from home, homeschooling, like things like, there's a million kids right now that are out of school. I'm sure their school has sent them home with homework. Guys, I teach Chinese kids at night, and they've been in their homes for over 2 months. Their schools are sending homework home, but there's a long time in a day if you've never been home with your kids for a long time. And I think like everybody that homeschools even talks about that. But as far as like, staying on top of this market, it's really about just watching the news. And if you're just getting into it, because I have a lot of people hitting me up like, what do I do? What
Staying
do I
on
buy?
the news, it does not mean listen.
Good. Thank
to
you.
Fox News or whatever. Again, Morgan's talking crazy.
Thank you.
Go out and find your news. Go out and understand what's going on. Empower yourself. The only reason you're afraid is because you don't understand what's going on. Just like I was back in 2008. And anybody who's still hanging out with me from 2008, I freaking love you. Because I was freaking crazy, man. I'd lost my mind. There was no doubt about it. So, but the indicators, jobless claims. I'm telling you, watch your jobless claims. That is going to tell you how many people are starting to lose their jobs. Right now, we do not have a credit crisis like we did in 2008. We just have corona crisis. That's it.
Yeah.
So if we can keep our shit under control and just take this dip down right now, because again, people are freaking out. Man, take your dip and we'll ride it back up. And if you are young, if you're a millennial, if you're a Gen Xer, man, you got plenty of time. If you're below that, I don't know what that thing's called anymore, but boom. Make your money. Right now is a grand opportunity to take from the most richest Americans, which are boomers, by the way.
Yes.
Boomers have 80% of the wealth. They are literally giving it to you because they do not know what they're doing with their money right now. They have trusted into fucking, what's his name, Barry at the trading desk.
Madoff.
And they call Barry up and they're like, Barry, what's going on? And Barry's like, oh, you need to get into this. I'm telling you, it's a hot stock. And that guy dumps you into that shit. And then when you call to be like, Barry, I don't know, we're losing about half of this money. So what are we doing here? Just hold it. Just hold it. Listen, you buy stocks to sell stocks, period. You don't hold on to that loss. You're not Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett holds on to prevent a depression because that guy will literally tank our economy, all right? So listen to that kind of advice is going to literally get you killed. I'm telling you right now, don't take my word. It's fucking simple math. If you lose 50% in the stock market, you got to make 100% of that money back.
Yes,
so why would I lose 50 to have to gain 100% returns back? That's nonsense, ladies and gentlemen. Sell your shit. Just hold on to cash for right now. You're better off holding to cash than a fucking sinking rock. Because then at least you can buy that back up at the bottom.
That's true.
And we are not at the bottom.
No.
So...
Some of the main things that I wanted to tell people before we got off was there's a lot of people that want to know basics, and I point people to Ricky Gutierrez.
Also, we've done podcasts on the exact indicators that I use on a day-to-day basis, and what we do. So again, go back and do your homework. I'm not going to sit here and give you guys all the free answers if you're just new to this thing today. Go in there and dig and search and look and listen to what we have to say, because I've told you all the answers. Anybody that's listened to us, they know exactly where to go to find this information. Yeah. They know exactly which podcast to go to and find this information. If you're here today, man, you're just that person looking for that free, quick, easy ride. Tell me what to invest into, and I'm not your guy for that, because here's the thing. I can even put you in a winning trade, but if you don't know how to trade it, if you don't have the risk management skills to trade this, you're going to lose your ass off no matter what. So I'm not going to give you emotions. If you've listened to this podcast, I'm the first one to admit I have like a 1% emotional intelligence on that scale of 100. But like the one thing this has done is Morgan's been freaking the fuck out. Different trading partners have been freaking the fuck out. Different people have been freaking the fuck out. I've had so many people in the last 2 months, what should I get into? And I tell them, and they don't listen to me. And then they come back, oh, you made me lose money. Well, you didn't listen. And again, I can give you the answer, but if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to fuck this up. Now it's about, in this market, you have to know what you're doing and why you're doing it. And what to do if this happens. That's your risk management. If you are listening to somebody who says something like raw data, I don't even know what raw data is. They don't just start feeding that out, on Wall Street out
just
front
to
there.
Investors.
So, yeah, they don't just hand out raw data to investors.
Yeah, and that's what I think people.
Raw data is your technicals.
Is that this is not just for investors, and you don't have to give your money to any company. All the information is here for you. Robinhood, the reason why people use Robinhood is because it is free trading.
Bam.
Free trading. When we were trading cryptocurrency.
Not TD Ameritrade that cost you $5 a trade. That's $5 to get in. It's $5 to get out. You better have at least made $10 on that trade, or you're owing them money.
And I never make $10 on a trade. Okay, I play with much less money than Ryan does, and he actually sold all my stuff, put me in the SPY contracts for me, and I was making a ton of money. And I went from like $300 today. I'm at
no. The first day though.
Oh yeah.
You went to bed you had $180.
I did.
And you woke up and you were like, what? She had $1,000-something.
I had you didn't sell my AUI. AUI is a gold company. I do think that.
Oh, you told me not to.
Yeah, I didn't want you to sell my AUI. That is something I liked.
Gold's acting finicky right now.
It is.
That's usually the safe haven. Bitcoin's never been a safe haven.
No.
So it's weird that you even put those two together in the same sentence. But gold is normally the safe haven, and it was for a second. Mm-hmm. And I was in some long-term positions with AUI and UGold. Made a nice little profit off of it. And one day, it just started going against. So I put in a stop loss. Hey, if my price goes to here, it automatically sells. Sold it off, with both of them within a day. So I don't know what's going on with gold. I can't tell anybody what's going on. This is kind of weird. So.
Well, and that's okay, because I do watch Bitcoin before this all happened. It seemed like, and it was great hearing somebody else say this too, is that every time the stocks would drop, the crypto market would go up. And I had man, that's cool. So I'm going to buy some Bitcoin next time. And I did that, and it went down.
It wasn't every time, by the way.
Okay, maybe it was just when I was looking
Well, I'm just saying, you're painting broad strokes trying to give information to people, man. That's not true. It wasn't every single time the market went down, Bitcoin went up. I had told you one time, I would like to know if we go through another recession, what is Bitcoin going to do? From that, you ran off with what you're saying today.
No.
That's not true.
I watched it, and any time that I would see it, but anyway, with this virus and everything, It's not doing that. Bitcoin has gone down too. So, there's nothing safe.
It's plummeted. It's fucking hemorrhaging.
Yes, there's nothing
bleeding
safe
the fuck
to
out.
play. And somebody made the comment was because people don't have enough extra money throwing into it now, which I could agree with.
Because they just lost all their extra money with this gut. People are bleeding out right now, and it sucks. It's tragic. I get it.
Yeah.
But that's not my fault. That's your fault for not understanding what you're investing in. That's your fault for listening to somebody. No, man, we're just going to go down this 35 UV-shaped recovery. It's game over. You could have looked at this back in February and said, no, man, this is not going to UV shape. This thing is going to do anything but continue to go down. Why? Because every single country has done this. Every country's taken this little hit. Mm-hmm. Every country has slowed down. every country's little small business. There was back in the third week of February, there was already articles coming out in China. This is how many bankruptcies we're going to have. This is how many are going to be on the brink. This is how many are for sure going to happen. This is how many percentages are going to be fine. So, yeah.
And none of it. Have you seen any economies recover yet?
No, because nobody's recovered from this yet. Even China doesn't know.
I know, because China was kind of hopeful.
I know they're touting that, ladies and gentlemen.
I was going to say.
I know they're touting, oh, we got a recovery in China. Oh, yeah? Cool. You show me.
My little kids are still getting food deliveries, so it's obviously not that great.
The fact that these manufacturers are coming out as strong, they're coming out more strongly than they did whenever Trump started this whole war. The trade war. Yeah. So whenever he started increasing their tariffs, and they started just coming out in force. We had a podcast about that, by the way. They're coming out harder than ever this time. So, but even still, there's like really nothing they can do because they do not have the bodies inside of these manufacturing plants. That's why they are tricking numbers on electricity, because the Communist Party wants a certain thing to, a certain way for it to be, but that is not what is happening. So any of you guys ever get on WeChat or anything like that, you guys can go be invited to different groups inside of China. So, but again, remember, you're being spied on by the Chinese government by using that. So it's not a conspiracy. That's just the way it is.
It's fact.
Do your homework.
And I think, I'm wondering, like, because these other countries have had it before we did, like, when we do start seeing something,
we will go through this for at least 3 months.
Yeah.
Now, in my opinion, just what has happened to every single country.
But they have said they're suspending, I know, the NBA for 30 days.
Because China right now is on 3 months. And they're still not there. And they're still not even letting everyone out of quarantine. So they're still I think they just are starting to release a couple people or a couple, I don't know, apartments or whatever in Wuhan. So, but it's not a free-for-all, everybody go out. And what they are worried about is, remember, China had that problem where you would get infected, you recover, boom, now all of a sudden you get it again. If that does continue, the worst thing we're going to have is a second mortality rate, because now your immune system is low. You don't want to get, sick after you've gotten sick. It's just your body has to fight a little bit harder. So
that's true.
They're struggling with that.
And there's so much unknown, and it's very dangerous.
We don't understand this virus yet. Nobody does understand
it's so dangerous for people to be walking around and spreading all this news. Like, matter-of-factly, they know. And it's like, goddamn, that's dangerous.
You?
It's dangerous. And I
Look
say,
at that face.
I say you should prepare to stay at home.
Yeah.
Just prepare to stay at home. They're sending, like Ryan said, let's say everybody gets it. We're all going to get it, right?
We are all going to get it.
We are. What are they doing?
One day. Not tomorrow, not today.
What is the hospital
someday.
saying? The CDC is saying Americans can recover at home because they want to keep those hospital beds free. Because people are sick other than the COVID-19.
For the critically ill that do get affected by this. Absolutely.
For the really bad ones. So when you're at home, they don't have like a Z-Pack to give you like on the flu. They don't have just a pill. Here, go take this. You'll be good in 3 days. You have to recover from the symptoms all on your own. So if you don't have your NyQuil, DayQuil, cough drops, Mucinex, whatever it is that is
all you can do, what she's trying to tell you guys is treat symptoms. Because there is no treatment for coronavirus, so you have to treat your symptoms.
Right.
If you don't treat symptoms, that's when things do get worse. So your main symptoms are dry cough, body aches, fever. Diarrhea is not a main one. That's a secondary symptom, like one that's not
super common.
Yeah, as common as the fever, dehydration, that kind of stuff.
That's good to know. And something I did the other day at Walmart after I got done using the keypad, I had bought some.
It's not dehydration. I just said that. Here, I got a list.
I wiped off the keypad after I used it and like wiped off my little area, and I was like, man, I hope somebody saw that and was like, man, that's cool. She just got rid of all her germs off of this crap. But it's not about being scared.
COVID-19 sickness symptoms: fever, fatigue, dry cough, muscle pain, difficulty breathing. 10% had atypical symptoms. This comes from a JAMA study, by the way. It's this long article I read.
Journal of American Medicine.
Yeah, it was the first 180 cases in Wuhan. Okay, so they were the ones that wrote the book for this. Symptoms: fever, fatigue, dry cough, muscle pain, difficulty breathing. 10% had atypical symptoms, including diarrhea, nausea. All patients developed pneumonia, according to JAMA. This isn't me. This is what I read. JAMA is the Journal of American Medical Association. It's a peer-reviewed medical journal published 48 times a year by the American Medical Association. People became short of breath within 5 days of the onset of their symptoms. Severe breathing trouble was observed in about 8 days. A study published in the Journal of Medicine Virology on January 29th said that, on average, people who died did so within 14 days of the onset of the disease. Case study. The study examined the medical data of a 34-year-old man, the first case of infection in the United States. The first symptom was a dry cough followed by fever. On the 3rd day of the illness, he reported nausea. The 6th day. By the 9th day, he had developed pneumonia and reported difficulty breathing. By the 12th day, his condition had improved and his fever was subsiding. He developed a runny nose, however. On day 14, he was asymptomatic except for mild coughing. Asymptomatic, not showing symptoms. Statistics from China suggest recovery time, for people with mild disease is about 2 weeks. People with severe or critical disease may take between 3 to 6 weeks to recover. That's the facts from the
JAMA.
Yeah, what the hell's JAMA? Journal of the American Medical Association. So, and you're more than welcome to. I guess we'll put it on the deal. I think I still have that article saved.
Yeah,
so
I'll link it.
I'll throw it out there so you guys can read it. So
I'll definitely link it.
Again, none of this that I've been saying is my opinion. It's everything I've either done or things that I've read up on. So,
right.
Yeah, the only opinion I gave, I think, was on, I believe the government was looking out for the American people
you did.
and not allowing people to, the insurance company to take advantage of Americans.
I like that they have worked on that because, I mean, whose fault? I mean,
everybody better be happy that they work on that because they did not have to work on that.
No.
They could have allowed you to get hammered by this. And that was one of the things on C-SPAN when they were talking to the powers that be. I don't remember all the names now, but Congress was flat out asking, is this going to be affordable? And the guy's like, I don't know. And he wasn't lying. He wasn't trying to be shady. He just really couldn't tell you because it was out of his hands. He was like the medical guy for America. You guys probably seen him on the news. Anyways, he said, we have to, it's private companies. And if they're going to come out with this thing, we have to kind of follow their rules. That's the way America plays the game. So I kind of wonder, man, if we didn't slow down testing just to ensure that we didn't get Americans hammered by this,
I wondered if that's not why they're slowing testing down too, though, because, I mean, we all know, most people know that the numbers are going to get bigger. The more people we test, it's going to happen. Bigger numbers, which means a lower mortality rate.
So get ready for larger numbers, by the way.
Yeah, don't be scared by it.
Doesn't mean larger mortality. The more we test, our mortality hopefully will go down smaller. Okay.
Yeah, a smaller mortality.
Absolutely.
Because now it's less people.
Yes.
So yeah, it looks awful right now, but we only tested like 77 people in a week.
When this first came out, man, they had a mortality rate of like 20%. I texted my buddy, I was like, woo, man, you're going to die from corona. You have like 20%. Remember, it hit that old folks home.
Yeah.
So, of course, that son of a bitch is going to be high. So
I am proud of our local government here because they have actually shut down visits to our nursing homes and all that stuff, assisted living facilities. And we have a lot of old people that live here. And Italy, I think, is why the numbers are kind of bad because one article I read was talking about the statistics of that country, and they have quite a few elderly people in that population. So that could be why. But either way, it doesn't matter. It is death. I think as long as...
God, just be informed. Yeah, educate yourself.
Informed.
Have your own financial intelligence. Don't have somebody else telling you how to make money. And don't look for an easy way out.
Yes.
And don't listen to every single person giving you financial advice. So ask to see their numbers. Ask to see.
There you go. That's it. Ask if they're going to give you advice.
Numbers never lie.
Ask to see what their bank is. Like, what does your war chest look like? What have you done with your money? What are you investing in? And then take that advice. But if they're just telling you, oh yeah, put it in this, it's going to win. It's not that time yet. Okay, it's not that time. You need to watch it.
No, you're better off holding your capital because, again, when you do release your soldiers onto the battlefield, you're going to be able to purchase more of these stocks. Right. So you're better letting it fall.
And like I said before, look for Ricky Gutierrez. He is a really good for beginners. He talks about technical. He talks about SMA, EMA. He talks about charting and all this stuff. So definitely go look at him. I'll have some links on our video for that.
Does anybody have any questions?
No, Rob was really the only one. I think everybody else was just listening to see how to make, $34K in a day.
Of course, man. Everybody just wants to learn how to make some quick cash. So
But I think, I guess then we're done for today. And
Cool.
hopefully we'll do another podcast whenever things start changing or something
Thank you guys
happens
for
different.
listening.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a great day. Bye.
Just turn it off.
No, I don't think it is off.
We got to turn it off.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to turn it off on the GoPro. Hold on.
Oh, is it still live on the GoPro? That's awesome.
Yeah. We're on YouTube Live still.
Fuck it, we're going live.